our perspective in government, we have, prior to the summer recess, essentially laid out our stall in terms of public investment, a total public investment of about 275 billion over the next 10 years, covering infrastructure, housing, and a whole range of what I might term community infrastructure activities, active travel, and so on. Fiscally, insofar as one can be reasonably confident, fiscally we are in a strong position as an economy. And so the funding is fairly secure. It's made up of exchequer, semi-state, equity injections in terms of issues around transport and water and so on. So it's a very solid investment. And the challenge will be around delivery of that funding and delivery of the infrastructure itself. We have focused on water, energy, transport, and of course housing, and then related of digital health. And on the delivery side, we had the issues in terms of JRs and the drainage, the Dublin Drainage Project. We will look at bespoke legislation if we have to deliver some of these projects. We cannot tolerate consistent delay in respect of key infrastructure projects that deliver the essentials of life for people into the future. The big challenge we have on the energy front is AI, which will be very energy intensive. And we simply have to get the offshore wind through, and we have to get, and there'll be more onshore, and there'll be more solar. On the Planning Commission, it is being resourced, and we will be commencing on a continuing basis aspects of the Planning Act, particularly in terms of JR and judicial review and that cost regime and so on. That has been an issue being worked out between housing and climate and energy departments. And again, we want that delivered now fairly quickly. There will be a memorandum coming to government in respect of that specific issue, which is, I think, key again to trying to accelerate decisions and reduce the delaying impact of judicial reviews. Within the Department of Public Expenditure, there is an infrastructure division has been established. It will be coming to government with an action plan in terms of delivery. On housing, again, there's been a number of significant steps taken. The fundamental issue for us will be the NDP outlines the state investment over the next decade, but the other key to that would be how do we facilitate private sector investment in addition to the public sector investment. We have reformed the rental sector, somewhat in line with the Housing Commission. People talk about the Housing Commission, but most in the Dáil don't want to implement the Housing Commission proposals in respect to the rental market, which did actually signal that the RPZs had to be changed. We've changed them. Some say not far enough, others say too far. But in our view, it is a significant change that opens up the window in terms of transparent profitability being on the table and people getting a yield into the future. So it was an important measure. The amendment to the apartment standards, likewise, the decision on planning exemptions, and the national planning framework. And we're making it very clear to the CEOs of local authorities that you have to rezone land and rezone more land, and if you don't, the government will do it. On the skills side, I mean, a lot of progress has been made by the industry, it has to be said, in terms of the numbers of people now working in construction. It's up 18% year on year, about 180,000. In housing alone, it's up a 31% number of people working in housing construction year on year. We have to look at a combination of continuing to enhance our own Indigenous training, in other words, apprenticeships and so on like that, but also complementing that with our work permit programs if you need specialists and so on to come in, and of course modern methods of construction, which many of you have adopted and continue to adopt into your delivery programs. But all three are aspects of this. And again, it's important in our societal debate. The idea of human capital, we're fortunate we're members of the European Union and people can come in and work here from the entirety of the European Union and beyond. People are challenging that, by the way, around that broader migration debate. All of you and all of us have to stand up against that and have to assert that human capital is key to our development as a society and as an economy. And we can't resile from it and go hiding on that issue. people need to be challenged on it. Because if we lose that, which to me is one of the key ingredients in terms of our continued economic growth and resilience, then we will be challenged in terms of availability of skills. Delighted to meet Caitlin de Rosa Trulli, who's a tremendous ambassador for the industry. I met her earlier, and we want more of that in terms of the skill mix itself. And again, we will be with you in terms of what we can do on the modernisation of construction area. How can we can develop that more quickly in terms of the housing finance side, in terms of scaling up the industry, scaling up SMEs within construction itself to a variety of mechanisms. We are open to further proposals in that regard, because we do need a sustainable industry into the future, and CIF is key to doing that. From my perspective, these are not just about publishing plans and national planning, all of that, development plans and so on. It really is about delivery, and it's the hard work of pulling in the public servants, pulling in yourselves, getting rid of the barriers and driving it on. And that's what we're doing in government on a day-to-day basis, and that's what I commit to as Taoiseach, to really get delivery now in terms of the allocations we've made, in terms of the projects that are on the agenda, and to engage the regulatory authorities and to create that sense of urgency within our planning frameworks and within our, as I say, regulatory authorities, to get with it and to understand that the most critical issue facing us in the country right now is housing, and associated, of course, with that is the delivery of key infrastructure in the country. We are determined to do it, and we're going to do it with your help and with your partnership. Thank you very much indeed.